Women's Month is drawing to a close, but the valor, courage and inspiration we've seen on the show has been nothing short of extraordinary. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to An Nur the Light. Lisa Aziz has been successfully campaigning for autism awareness. We traveled to Durban and spent some time with this amazing woman, mother and rock.
A cloud of mystery has surrounded children labelled as autistic for generations. As human beings, we all have ways of perceiving the world through our sensory functions. Imagine one or all of these senses were heightened or amplified, and you may start to understand the autistic child. Studies have shown that the parents of autistic children suffer more than any other parent. Caring for an autistic child is a 24-hour responsibility, one that Lisa Aziz took on many years ago.
He was diagnosed at, I saw a regression at age 24 months. By regression, I mean that he seemed to be developing almost normally. He knew all his rhymes and he seemed to be precocious, knowing more than the normal 2-year-old, but also they were all naming things. Round about the 24-month age group when he was meant to learn conversation and the turn-taking of conversation, then I knew that there was glaringly something wrong.
You know, Autism Speaks, which is the biggest NGO in America, they once did a huge study and they likened the impact of autism caregivers to a person being in a war zone. So it is high adrenaline and it can be very taxing at times, but at the same time you factor in things to help you calm down as a main caregiver of a child with autism. They also give you incredible joy, you know, so that you have to factor in calming techniques and you have to find ways to de-stress yourself.
Beside the personal challenges that come with raising an autistic child, Lisa faced the reality that nobody deemed her child worthy of receiving an education.
I went through the normal processes of every mother. I cried. I went into depression. Then I leapt in. I leapt in because you were confronted with the lack of resource and support for our people with autism. So I was directed to Brown School. And basically the psychologist said to us, he's uneducable. Now, I come from an education background. I was an educator myself for about 5 years of my life, and I knew I wouldn't even call an animal uneducable. And after crying, I sat down and I wrote. I wrote to the MEC for Education, I wrote to the Minister of Education, and I wrote to the newspapers. And when I wrote to the newspapers, I was inundated with mail from parents who had been through exactly the same experience. And then I said, let us come together.
Today, Lisa Aziz is well known in social circles as an activist and founder of Action in Autism, an organization established to act as a lobbyist, fundraiser and support for children diagnosed with autism and their parents.
So the Early Learning Intervention Action in Autism Centre started out of a dire need within the province and the country at large. There are no early intervention centres that cater solely for children with autism. And in fact, the government ECD centres, early intervention centres, don't cater at all for children with autism. So obviously, we knew there was a huge gap. At the same time, we didn't want to do what government was doing. We had fought very long for them to have the 72 special needs schools within the province of KwaZulu-Natal accept our learners with autism. But there was no ECD, and literature was showing us, research was showing us again and again that if you go in early enough, you can make such a huge difference on the child and how the child is integrated into society. So we knew this as a dire need.
Action in Autism is an organization that's run primarily by volunteers. So yeah, I got involved at the request of Lisa. I've known her for a while, and the work she does is unbelievable. And I think without her single-minded effort, none of this organization probably would have taken off. So yeah, she's quite an inspiration, actually.
Studies have shown that early intervention improves an autistic child's ability to learn later in life. Action in Autism's most important goal is to access education for all children with autism in KwaZulu-Natal from a young age.
Most of the brain neurons form these connections in the first few years of a child's life. And if you allow those connections to form in an abnormal way, then they become set in that abnormal way for the rest of their lives. But if you're able to manipulate them, and if you're able to coerce these neuronal connections early on, you get the best outcomes. This is the concept of neuroplasticity, where a person is able to change the development of how the brain proceeds by having positive influences and removing negative ones. So early intervention is what it's all about. So the need to diagnose early is probably the most important aspect of this condition.
Whilst Lisa is a full-time mum, full-time lobbyist and full-time chair of Action in Autism, she still manages to find time to create social change documentaries.
In terms of my filmmaking, I used to be a lot more prolific before Tariq came along and Tariq was diagnosed. Now I pick and choose the projects, but it's a lot of NGO work and it's a lot of social documentary filmmaking that I do. And you get to meet beautiful people who are doing wonderful things. But I must say that I also made a choice, because both my husband and I are in the industry. I made a choice that I have to do things that keep me at home as well, because you need a stable force.
Whilst Lisa has a long way to go in creating schools for autism for the many autistic children who have no hope and no future without it, she has already managed to change the circumstances of so many of these children, and even more so for their parents.
I'm immensely proud of the accomplishments of some of my Muslim sisters. Lisa is a true hero who deserves not only recognition, but much needed support so she can continue fighting the good fight. Cape Town is where we're off to next as we bring you the trendiest Muslims of the mother city.
Style to me is like looking class all the time, looking appropriate, making sure that when you do step out of the door that you look appropriate for people to actually look at you, and not just wearing anything sloppy, because I'm not one of those kind of girls. I feel that fashion and style should be implemented in your daily life. Style isn't something like a puzzle that you have to figure out and put together. It's something that's supposed to come naturally, and also something that you shouldn't spend or fret too much time upon. Before I go to my cupboard, I go check the weather to see what the weather's like. And then whatever I feel like I'm comfortable wearing today, that's what I'll go look in my cupboard, depending jerseys, dresses, skirts, to that effect, seeing that I dress modestly and I do the whole hijab look. What inspires me is obviously being Muslim first. It causes me to be the best at everything I do, whether it be with my family, at work, and just my daily interactions during the day. I basically scout designs. When I see stuff that's like on the rails and stuff that I can't wear, that's basically maybe off-shoulder, short, I try to implement it into my own style so that it would suit me and the way I dress, so that's where the leopard print came from. And then after that, I'll do accessorize, and I'll check what will work, maybe a hat, maybe what scarf will work with my garments. And then I will look at the shoes department, like depending if it's raining, if it's sunny. I thought I'm to be in town, doing a lot of walking. So I start from the ground up, basically working with the shoes that I have. So obviously comfortable shoes. I like wearing shirts. This new pickup Levi denim jacket, West Classic, and a black classic jeans that just amalgamates everything well together. Just in case of the weather, I've got an overcoat, just to lay it up. So in case the heat gets or weather gets too much, I can just take it off. Men don't respect women the same way when they're covered, and so I just decided, okay, I want to gain that respect from people, so let me change and see how my change implements like to who I am and how it will work around my personality. So my beard I'm growing purely for sunnah purposes, and it's a sunnah that I try to adopt and keep consistent with, as well as wearing my pants short, like not touching my ankles.
I just love how color is used to brighten those outfits, showing that we Muslims are not a bland old bunch. Don't forget to tweet, post or share your comments and pictures on our social media platforms. Our Facebook page continues to grow, and we also have the An Nur Extra page where you can get some great tips as well as informative articles about Islam. Social media has opened up a whole new world of communication for all, and it's also this week's topic.
Social media has become much more than just an information sharing network, as people take to it in ever-increasing numbers. It's also given rise to a host of new pastimes, such as bloggers, vloggers, style gurus, and many other users. Due to the nature of the medium, anyone can access, like and follow their favorite topics, personalities, and trends. With over 8,000 followers, student and avid vlogger Abdul Haq has found a ready audience for his short, punchy, and mostly comic videos.
Okay, well, it started off, we were both just normal individuals on campus, but we were friends. And then we started off using social media like Twitter, Instagram. Then from there we started individually just posting random videos. And then we were getting a few likes. We were getting quite a bit of views also on Instagram. On Twitter we were getting quite a few retweets. And then we decided might as well get into a partnership and start something bigger. You never know where it might lead.
Want my jacket? No, you're gonna feel cold. No, you're gonna feel cold. It's really cold. Yeah, it's cold today. Can I get your jacket? What? You don't wear your jacket before me.
It's not like we do it for the fame as such. That's not what we do it for. Personally, I think I speak on behalf of both of us. We do it for people that are having a bad day. You know, that motivation boost. If someone smiles just because of our video, that's it for me. That's what I look for.
Abdul Haq's videos are parodies that often resonate with those who follow him. He makes a light of situations featuring both young and old, but keeps his humor strictly halal.
In Islam, you do have your boundaries, but there is no such a thing in Islam where you can't have fun while you're doing something that you enjoy doing. So whatever we do, we make sure we are within our limits and boundaries. But Islam also, it tells us, you know, humor, spreading smiles, all that is really permissible. And it's also advised that you should make people happy in whatever way you can. So this, we see it as spreading smile, making someone's day. And yeah, as long as we know what's our boundaries, it doesn't really affect us.
Most of his stories are sourced either from events happening or student life at university. His groups of friends make up a willing bunch of actors, and these short films have brought them some fame.
It's more of a hobby nowadays. So we might be chilling because we have a tight group of friends. There's about 14, 15 of us. We always go to watch sunsets or go climb rooftops. And then we might see something there that might interest us. And then from there, we speak about it. We create a certain atmosphere around there. And from there, we think about a video for you.
Style bloggers have also garnered their fair share of followers, which in turn has led to even bigger things.
With regards to social media, if I were to go back, I basically started going onto social media 2 years ago, and purely because I started my business. Initially, it was called Bespoke Hijabi by WH, and I've obviously now changed my branding, which is now called House of Bespoke by WH. I must say that social media has done great things for me in terms of increasing the awareness of my actual brand, more exposure. So I'm really extremely happy with the outcome that it's brought, not only personally to me, but to my business. Because it's a free platform that gives smaller businesses out there opportunities to help them market themselves and to help them grow their businesses. So I think, yeah, that's purely the reason why I started on all social media levels.
Yasin Barnes used his Twitter account to share jokes that spanned 140 characters. As his following grew too, so did his fortune. He's able to turn his punchy jokes into a career and has already garnered a host of accolades.
You know, in high school, the guys stand together and they tell nonsense. They talk stories of the weekends and stuff like that. And then I was the guy at the end of the story to drop like the one-liner joke. And then none of them really got it. It was all these bad jokes, bad puns. And then they would start calling those bad jokes Yasins. So when other people would make bad jokes, they'd call it a Yasin. People in other classes and the teachers would make bad jokes and people go like, oh, that's a Yasin. Years later, I discovered Twitter, and Twitter basically helped me to tell a joke in 140 characters, the shortest possible joke that I can make. And then I started making Yasins, and the people of Twitter took well to it. And now I tell Yasins on the stage. So now I found my place in the world with, I guess I was always the guy telling short jokes.
I was in the mall today. I saw a sign that said wet floor, so I did.
Social media has not only made its mark, but is defining a new generation of youth. As a medium, it offers incredible opportunities for those who are prepared to sacrifice hours hunched over their phones.
It's great to see how young Muslims are using this platform positively. I can't wait to check out some more of those videos. This month's events calendar is once again packed with great things to do.
Spend a day at the prestigious greens of the Durban Country Club in this year's annual Golf and Family Day, which comes packaged with complimentary perks like pampering sessions and a kids zone. This warm-hearted event raises much-needed funds for rural-based clinics of the IMA Clinics project. Make sure you purchase your tickets for a great day of fun and relaxation. The annual Radio 786 Gala Dinner is escorted into action this year by a symposium with the theme of bolstering the South African voice and acts as a great platform to effectively share and network ideas. The annual dinner carries the same theme and will be held on the 11th of September. September is also known as Heritage Month. If you're in the city of Joburg during this exciting time, make sure you join in the Johannesburg Heritage Foundation on hawking tours across the city. This day of adventure comes with a photographic exhibition and a classroom experience that will take you back in time. It's a great way to spend the day, as you'll certainly look at everyday life with new eyes. Feel the blessings of the arrival of spring at the Johannesburg Garden Club annual plant sale. This flowery event is held in the name of charity and raises funds for the Joburg Child Welfare, while simultaneously making the world a more beautiful place with its grand variety of plants to choose from. You can also sip on a selection of teas while admiring the inspirational vertical garden display that will surely have you starting or expanding a garden of your own.
For those of you who missed the deadline to have your events featured, there's always social media. Send us a message on Facebook and we'll make sure to advertise across our platforms. I hear we've got something really tasty being cooked up by Lamise. So without further ado, let's get into the kitchen and see what's on the stove.
In our quest to find secret recipes and hidden gems, we've tracked down a recipe that's been passed down from generation to generation. We suspect that its origins are in India. And what's lovingly called today red chicken, I'm sure had another name. And I'm lucky enough to be in the kitchen with Soraya Val. Thank you so much for having me in your kitchen today. Tell me about your cooking experience. Where did your love for food and creating it come from?
I had an amazing mother-in-law, Sarah Cottle. She taught me everything from frying an egg to making a deck of biryani today.
And that's the one dish that I know you for, is your awesome biryani. But what are you showing me how to make today?
Today I'm preparing a chicken which is called red chicken, as you said. I'm sure the viewers and yourself know many other names for it, but it's a simple dish. You can dress it up and you can dress it down.
So what are the ingredients that we need to make your red chicken?
Well, starting with 2 grated tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, red masala, which is made up of ginger, garlic and red chilies fresh, and there we have the plain red chilies as it is.
Rustenburg chilies in all its glory.
Obviously.
Okay.
And here we have tomato paste and tomato puree.
Okay.
And here we have 3 teaspoons of cumin, crushed, jeera, as you'd say.
Yeah.
Jeera is a bitter seed, so we always put in less. Here we have about 6 to 8 teaspoons of crushed coriander seeds, dhania.
Yeah.
We have turmeric. Urid is another name for turmeric. And I normally just use a pinch of that.
Okay.
And we have coarse salt. And here we have the ghee, which is a cup or just under a cup.
Yeah, ghee makes everything taste better.
Exactly.
So I'm all there.
And then obviously here's your cleaned, skinless chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah.
And this is about 1.5 kilos of chicken?
It's about 1 kilo.
Okay, and cut for curried?
Cut, yeah. I'm just going to prepare it.
You've promised me that this is an easy peasy recipe, which is my favorite kind.
Yeah.
So what is the first thing that we need to do to get this done?
Put the chicken into the pot.
Okay. And just a dry pot?
Dry pot. The chicken has been washed, cleaned, and we're going to add that. We're adding the tomato. That's where the 1 spoon comes in it.
Okay.
Then we add the lemon juice. Just gives it that tang.
Yes.
And here is our masala.
The homemade Rustenburg chili masala.
Oh, definitely. And here we have the red chilies.
How much of the red chili would you add?
For the viewer and for yourself, for now, I think maybe 3 would be good.
Okay.
Here's our tomato puree. And we'll add the cumin. It's all freshly ground.
So all your spices you roast and then you grind fresh?
And then I grind it, our dhania.
So you're getting maximum flavor?
Yeah. We will add a pinch of the urad, turmeric.
Okay. A pinch of turmeric.
And here's our salt. My hands is my spoon.
No, but those are the best tools we've been given. So
we're gonna mix it.
And there's no onion, nothing.
No onion, no crying.
No need to.
And the key to this recipe is actually your ghee.
Shall I take this for you?
You can take that, the lid.
Okay.
And we can put it on the stove.
So 20 minutes and dinner's done.
There we go. We can just fry some potatoes in the interim.
So 20 minutes on the stove, a high heat initially, turn it down to a simmer, just stir it a few times intermittently, but make sure not to stir too much that you don't break your chicken pieces. And in 20 minutes, Riaz's feast is good to go. So the red chicken's done, and I can't wait to tuck in. So shall we have some? I'm not eating alone, am I?
No, you're not. I will join you.
And now this feels like home because you're dishing for me. So I'm already breaking my naan bread. Thank you so much. The color is phenomenal.
Shall we have? Shall I have a bite?
This is so good. Juicy, succulent, moist. Love the tang.
Love the potatoes.
Loving the heat. So Auntie Surya, your red chicken might have taken 20 minutes to make, but I can guarantee I'm going to scoff this in less time than that. This is absolutely delicious. Thank you so, so much for sharing this recipe with me. It's definitely going to be a favorite in my house. So there you have it, Surya's delicious red chicken. So until next time, I'm tucking in. Assalamu alaikum.
It looked quite spicy from what I could see, but I'll take Lemise's advice that it was simply tasty and divine. That's unfortunately all that we have time for this week, but join us again next week, same time, same place. From me, Maria Mukwanda, Salang Hantle, Assalamu alaikum.